Hello everyone, welcome back to the Java tutorial series. In this video, we are going to learn about arrays in Java. Arrays help us store multiple values of the same data type in a single variable. So, we will understand why arrays are needed, how to create them, and how to access their elements. So let's get started. So first question is, what is an array? An array is a collection of elements of the same data types. It is a collection of elements of same data type which is stored under a single variable name, and each element is stored at a specific position called an index of an array. Arrays have a fixed size, which means their length cannot be changed once created. So, array is a collection of same data types. As we all know, data types, it can be integer, it can be string. So, it is a collection of same data types stored in a contiguous memory locations, and we access those values using an index. And arrays are of fixed size. We cannot change it once array is created. So after taking examples, it will be more clear. So next question is, why do we need arrays? Why are we learning these concepts? Arrays. So without array, if we want to write different variable of same data types, so here we can see all data types are same. So different variable names with same data types, if we want to initialize, then we have to write multiple times. So in place of initializing multiple times, we can use the concept of array, and we can initialize all those variables, all these variables into a single variable name instead of assigning it to different variable names. So it is getting assigned into a single variable name, and that is of data type integer, and this is the symbol of array. Imagine storing marks of multiple students without arrays. We need separate variables for each value. As the amount of data grows, so in the screen you can see only 5 marks are there. And when as the amount of data grows, managing variables become difficult. So arrays solve this problem by storing multiple values in a single variable. That's why we need arrays. Let's see some of the features of the array. So arrays provide an efficient way to store and manage the data. All elements must belong to same data type. Each element can be accessed quickly using its index positions. So with the help of index positions, we can access the element fast. So these are the features of array. Let's see how do we declare array, that is array declaration. As we all know, before using any class, we need to declare that class. Likewise, before using an array, we first declare it. So, before using an array, we first declare it. The declaration specifies the data type of elements and the name of array. So, this is what? This is declaration. And some examples are there. So data type here is integer, data type here is string, and this is integer array, and the variable name, array name is numbers, and string array names. So I will tell you with the memory location. So let's say we have stack, and this is stack memory area, and this is heap memory area, and this is method area. So don't worry about these things. As we are reading this, we are studying this memory location first time. So think of it as three different memory areas. So we have stack, heap, and method area. And suppose we declare any array, we initialize any array, int array symbol, then variable name, or we can say array name. Let's say numbers equals to 1, 2, 3. So we are taking 1, 2, 3, only 3 values. This is first example, so we will take less values to understand better. So this is what? This is initialization. Initialization means we are assigning values to the variable, and declaration. So we have three memory areas: stack memory, heap memory, and method area. So first of all, whatever classes are getting involved in this, in the execution of this statement, that will get first loaded in the method area memory. So in this case, array is a class. So array dot class file will be loaded in the method area. And what kind of data type we are using here? Int. So that particular class, integer dot class. So just for example, I am taking this many classes. It can be more or less, depend on situation. So at the end, we should understand all classes are loaded into this area, into this memory area, which is method area. So first step is all dot class file will get loaded in the method area. Then the value, this is the value which is assigned to numbers. So here we will be having array. This is what? Array. And what is the size of this array? Since we are declaring 3 variables, so it will be 3 in size. Since this is array, it will point to array.class. And in array, we have the concept of index. So for each index, we have different value. So in this case, we have assigned three values. So it will be present inside the array 1, 2, 3. These are the values, and each will have their index. Each one of these will have index. Index of an array starts with 0, then 1, then 2. So 0, 1 and 2, these are index of array. These are index of an array. And what is this 1, 2, 3? This is value present inside the array. Value which we have initialized here. And the variable name, that is numbers. You can say variable name or you can say array name. It will be stored in the stack memory area, numbers. So there will be some memory location. So this whole array will have some memory location in heap. Something maybe in hexadecimal or some other form. There will be some memory location of this array. So that memory location will be stored in this numbers variable. Numbers equals to memory location of array. Okay. it will have the memory location of array. Which array? This array. So from memory location, it will point to this array, which is present in heap memory area. So that's how this line integer array numbers, this initialization of integer array, or it can be any array, in the internally it works for different memory locations. Understanding this memory area and how it works is very essential, because as we go ahead, there will be different logical problems which we need to solve. And if we are comfortable in these memory locations, how these arrays are getting created and in which memory area arrays are residing, and where are the dot class files, how this array is pointing to dot class file, and what is getting stored in the stack memory area, and how from the memory location it is pointing to the array. So this whole flow we should understand in order to understand this array. So this is very basic. So we have seen array declaration. So before using an array, we first declare it. So the declaration specifies the data type of element and the name of array. Let's go in IntelliJ and initialize an array, and with the examples we'll understand better. So we are trying to understand array. So let's say example. So before example, what is the format? Format is array name equals to new data type in the array size of the array. So this is the format of initializing array. So before array, I will revise the variable. How do we declare? Declaration of variable. So how do we declare? Int a. This is normal variable. And how do we initialize? Sorry, how do we assign value? A equals to 10. So in the first line, in the line number 11, we declared. In the line number 13, we assigned. And if we are doing both in the same line, how do we write that? Int a equals to 10. Since a is already declared, that's why it is giving compilation error. We will change the name. Int b equals to 10. So we are doing declaration and assigning in the same line. What do we call this thing? We call it as initialization. So this thing we already know. So this was the initialization of normal variable of integer type. Now we are studying how to initialize array. So before learning, we should know what we are trying to learn. So how to initialize array? So just now we have seen the declaration of array. How do we declare? So that is data type, let's say int, and array, and the variable name. numbers. So before initializing array, we will see array also in two parts. We will see array declaration. This is array declaration. Now we will do array assignment. So numbers equals to new int, and we will assign some value, let's say 1 comma 2 comma 3. So this is declaration and this is assignment. Now we will do array initialization, which is combination of both declaration and assignment. So we'll write numbers 1 equals to, can directly write 1 comma 2 comma 3. So we have done the same way we used to declare. So we have declared, then assigned, then initialized. Same way we can write separately declaration and assignment, and if we want we can initialize in the same line, and mostly we will do in the same line if we already have the values. What will happen here? 3 in the stack memory area, numbers will be there, and in the heap memory area, array will create of size 3, and this array will have some memory location, let's say x06 something. So this memory location will be there. Numbers will have memory location of an array, let's say x06. So since these variable numbers have the memory location of an array, it will have access of this array. And what is the size of this array? 3. Why 3? Because we have initialized the size with 3. We have given the size of an array is 3. And here, so before moving here, array declaration, we create the array using the new keyword. So we should always remember, whenever we are using new keyword, the object is getting created in the heap memory. The object is getting created in the heap memory, and what is the size of that object is 3, and what is the data type of that object is integer array. So instead of writing array, we will write integer array. So object is created in the heap memory, and the location of this array is stored in the variable numbers, which is present in stack. So the size determines how many elements the array can store. So since the size is 3, it can store 3 values. So Array can also be, this is another way. What I will say, this is another way. So arrays can also be declared and initialized in a single statement. And so this is what declaration, and this is declaration plus assignment, that is initialize. Initialize, that is declaration plus assignment, and this is only declaration. So this is the difference in these two. So here arrays can also be declared in this other way and initialized in a single statement. So the array contains 1, 2, 3. So we can directly assign the values. So as we have discussed, arrays have index in the heap memory. So we have three values 1, 2 and 3, and we'll be having indexes and value. So what is the index of 1? So array starting index of an array is always 0. So starting index of an array is always 0. So since index 0, what is the value? 1. And index 1, what is the value? 2. And index 2, what is the value? 3. So index will keep on increasing 0, 1, 2. In this case size is 3, so index will be 0, 1, 2. So if we want to access any value, so we access the value with the help of index of an array. So each element in an array has an index. Array indexing starts from 0. The first element is stored at index 0, the second at index 1, and so on. Now, next thing comes into picture. How do we access the value present in the array, in an array? So we have value 1, 2, 3. How do we access these values? With the help of variable name. So let's print numbers 1, since the variable name is numbers 1, and with square brackets we will write the index, let's say 0. So numbers 1 square bracket 0 will give the first value. So we have the array 1, 2, 3 at index 0, 1, 2 respectively. So we are accessing the 0th index value of array numbers 1. So we will get an output 1. Likewise, okay, let's run the program and check. So here in the output we can see 1. That means we accessed the 0th index value of array numbers 1. Likewise, we will try to get numbers 1 index 2. So what will be the output? Output will be 3 because index starts from 0. So at 0 value is 1, at 1 value is 2, at 2, at index 2 value is 3. So it will give 3. Let's verify. So in the output we can see at 0th index we are getting as 1 value, and at the second index, I mean index 2, the value is 3. So we can access array elements using their index number inside square brackets. Here index 0 returns 1 and index 2 returns 3. Let's modify in order to avoid confusion. Let's say 10, 20 and 30. Now at index 0 we will get 10 and index 2 we will get 30. Since index start from 0, 1 and 2. Let's recompile. So see the output. At index 0 we have 10 and index 2 we have 30. Now let's say we have initialized an array. Now we want to modify the value at some index. How do we do that? So this is our array and we want to modify array elements. So let's say numbers 1, this is variable name, and let's say I want to modify at index 1 value from 20 to, let's say, 100. Now I want to print what is the value present in index 1. Let's run the program. So see, while we initialized array, the value was 10, 20 and 30, and in index 1 the value was 20. So we updated the value of index 1 to 100 and we printed, so we are getting output as 100. So array elements can be modified using their index positions. In this example, the value at index 1 is changed from 20 to 100. Now we have one more function, array length. How do we calculate the array length? So for that we have method we can call numbers1, that is array name dot length. So this will print the length of an array. Let's run the program and see the output. So here we can see the length of an array is 3. Since we have declared 3 values, the length of array is 3. So the length property returns the total number of elements present in the array, and this property dot length array name.length is commonly used while working with loops. So in the later videos, we'll solve some logical problems related to arrays. So where we will use this property length. So let's take one example which will cover all. So let's initialize some new array. Let's say int array marks equals to some random values 34, 23, 7, 2, 98. Yeah, I think this is good. Now we want to print the array value at index 0 and I want to print array value at index, let's say 2, and I want to print array length. So what will be the output of this one? Value at index 0, it is 34. What is the value at index 2? So 0, 1, 2, 67. What is the length? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Length is 5. Let's run and check the output. So here in the output we can see value at index 0 is 34, value at index 2 is 67, and the length of an array is 5 since it contains 5 elements. So let's quickly summarize what we learned so far. So array stores multiple values of same data type and index always starts from 0. And when we create an array, the size of array is fixed. We cannot modify the size of an array after creation. And it is helpful with easy data management. So we learned the basics of array in Java, including declaration, initialization, indexing, how to access elements, and arrays make it easy to store and manage multiple values efficiently. That's all for this video. I hope this tutorial helped you understand the concept of array. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.